Welcome back to the homestead. We are looking at the trailer again. You can see I've added a few things to it, get it ready for sheep shearing, hauling, whatever you want to call it. Duck, so I don't hit this thing again. I hit it like 800 times already with my head. Added this gate. Had one of those, an extra panel left over from when I built the sheep tractors. Just cut it down. Luckily, one of the braces in it was one you could just move and put where you wanted with these things. Used a couple hangers that I still had from one of the gates, extra gates for that. Just used some chains and got that all mounted up so I can separate this out, because we'll have males and females while we're hauling. So didn't really want them mixing when we don't want them mixing, if you know what I mean. We'll get babies when we want them, not when they feel like it. Plus, it gives me a little area to keep, if we don't have that many in here, we can keep them up there, just depending, keep them separated so they don't have a bunch of room to slide back and forth as we're driving along. Had to repair a couple spots on my wire harness too. There was a couple spots that worn through, so got that all up. It's ready to go for when we get them all loaded up and go get them sheared. Well, good morning. It is time for shearing. So you got the truck back up here. Spare you the comedy of me backing up in the bumpy field. Actually, it wasn't too bad, but wet grass and bumpy hilly field makes for interesting reversing. So first we're gonna get Bagel loaded up here. You can see they're anxious to move. Stop for the wind there. We're gonna get them, we're gonna go ahead and move their cage forward so that way Peabody isn't freaking out and he'll be busy eating. And then we'll get Bagel loaded up in the trailer here. Put him up here in the front in the little section. So you got the bag of treats just for motivation. So let's get him in there. They're motivated by food, so that went pretty well. I think hopefully they'll ride out right there. Said I'm not sure how much more footage I'll get from this point on or not. Worst case, you come back seeing them all shaved and ready to go for the summer. But we'll get on our way, go pick up the other people's sheep that we got to take and get them over and get them sheared. Well, you can see they're all loaded up. They're not the biggest fans of it, but we're loaded up, ready to go, so we'll see how this goes. You guys don't like your ride? Don't like the ride? Yeah. Here we are. Everybody's loaded up. They're all not too happy. You can see my 3 are a little bit smaller than these guys. I know 2 of them for sure were triplets, and Bagel was kind of abandoned, so I don't think they got the growth start that these guys got. This is the mom of the other 2 behind her. She's a pretty big one. Kind of got more of Bagel's markings in her face though, even though she's from a kind of connected flock, same family. I think it might be a different flock. But there's Bagel. go. Naked peeing sheep. How you guys doing? Say overall it went pretty well. They transported well. These guys were super easy to get in and out. Saw me loading them up this morning with the treats. That's all I had to do when we got them there. Use a treat bag. They followed me wherever I went with that. Didn't get shots of loading up the sheep from the other people, but theirs were a little more difficult. They didn't like me. I was new and strange, so they weren't thrilled about me being there, so that added a little bit to it. And also, they just weren't as, I don't know, bottle baby. They still had their mom with them. They were bottle babies, but they still had their mom, so it was a little different for them. These guys, in and out, like 30 seconds. I mean, it was no big deal, and you saw how fast she sheared them. So bottle babies might take a little bit more work at the beginning, but once you got them, they make a lot easier to handle when they're adults. Look so much smaller now that they're missing all their wool. Pardon the wind again. It's windy like always out here. It's like they're enjoying the shade because now they're gonna get sunburned. But yeah, it was a pretty good day. See, it doesn't take a whole lot to get them sheared. You kind of just gotta manhandle them a little bit, put them where you want them. They pretty much just give up and let you do it. So might be something I'll try here in the future. I had to find a place out of the wind to wrap up here. Franklin did fine by himself, so did Peabody. They were alone for a couple hours this morning. And then, yeah, everybody rode great. Trailer worked out great. Having it sectioned off into 2 parts worked out so we could unload my crew and load their crew and not have everybody getting all mixed up. So keep following us. We'll see how everybody does. Join us back here next time on Castle Rock Farm and Homestead. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. They look so tiny without their wool.